Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today I've got a cute little pop-up card for you. Don't you just love this card? Look at those sweet little pull toys. Love just got real. And here's your little pop-up card. Isn't that fun? It's really a special card to celebrate somebody very special. We're going to make this one today. This is our mystery card for today, even. So if you are curious about mystery card, check out the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social on Facebook. Just find me on Facebook. I've got a group and we do a mystery card every other Thursday. I walk you through a series of clues and you complete the mystery card. So this is our fun fold for today. To do this fold, you'll need your Simply Score tool, and for your card base, you'll need a piece that's 4 1/4 by 11. So I've got Pool Party here. I'm going to pop that on the 11-inch side and score it in half at 5 1/2. Well, we've got our Simply Score tool here. We're going to take a piece that is 11 inches by 2 7/8. And we're going to score at 3 1/4, 5 1/2, and 7 3/4. So those are the main pieces for your card, the mechanisms that'll make this pop-up card work. Before we get a bone folder and work the score lines, I'm going to get some grid paper and we're going to do a background stamping on our petal pink piece using petal pink ink and the little heart image from Baby Pull Toys. This is the stamp set that we're using. It's a 10-piece rubber set from Stampin' Up. Let me protect my surface and get stamping. Okay, I've got petal pink ink, this little heart. What I like about this little heart is it's perfectly proportioned to just stamp kind of nested right inside of itself. So I just stamped the 2 little hearts kind of nested in the bottom cleft, and then stamp the 2 small hearts next to the large one, and then I can just repeat stamp. The idea is it does not have to be perfect. I'll go back to the top and finish off that row, but it'll really give you a nice pattern on the background. We're going tone on tone. It's going to dry a little bit lighter, and we're just going to fill in rows all the way across this piece. All right, we're getting to the end of the line here, and we're just going to fill in that very last edge. And before we move on, so there we go. It's just repeat stamping covered the whole thing. Looks pretty good and doesn't take a lot of, if you're thinking too hard about it, you're doing it wrong. You just get a rhythm and just repeat stamp in rows across. We're going to do that again with a piece of petal pink that we've die cut for the front of our card. So this is our petal pink stitched scallop rectangle. I cut this one ahead using the Stitched So Sweetly dies. It's the largest one from Stitched So Sweetly. And we're going to do that same repeat stamping for the front of our card. See, I can bring the sample in here so you can see. All right. And once again, I just start in the upper right corner and stamp and repeat. All right, let's work on assembling the mechanism of this card next. So we've got our Pool Party piece. This is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and we're going to fold it in half right on that score line. There's our base. Then we'll take our petal pink and we're going to make a W or a valley, mountain, valley fold. So I like to always work my score lines in reverse first. I'll just keep any stress to the back of the project. And then once we've done that, we want to work that W fold. So there's our inside mechanism. It's also very decorative, don't you think? Now, take a look at my sample. Look at the gorgeous designer series paper. This is the new 2021-2022 Designer Series paper stacks, the 6x6 Subtles and So Saffron. During celebration, you can get the new Designer Series paper 6x6 stacks in your starter kit for no extra charge. You get 5 packages of Designer Series paper, brights, neutrals, regals, 2020, 2022 in colors, and subtles for a limited time. All 5 packages, absolutely free. Starter kit is still only $99 plus tax. You choose $125 of your choice of merchandise and get these awesome 6x6 Designer Series papers for free. Now to show you a comparison, this is this year's Designer Series papers, and this is next year's. The only way you get your hands on next year's is if you join the fun. So these are 3 pieces of Designer Series paper of your choice. They are all 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and we're going to adhere matching ones to the inside of the card and the odd man out pattern to the outside of the card. I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue to do that. Slide aside my little mechanism, and let's work inside the card first. I'm going to adhere them right inside with an even border all the way around. One on the cover, one on the inside, and then one on the outside of the card. Then we'll go ahead and build our card mechanism into the card. So what we want to do here is turn to the back, and we want to put adhesive on the last panel and on the first panel. Leave these 2 center panels free of adhesive. I like multi-purpose liquid glue. I'll be rather generous. That gives us a minute to get everything squared up to the edges and folding nicely. It'll give us a little wiggle room. So we're going to now start from the center fold. We're going to center top to bottom. And then we're going to line up to the edge of the card and burnish down the adhesive. Line up to the edge of the card here and burnish down the adhesive. And before anything's too dry and set in place, we're going to go ahead and close the card and just work that little W mechanism and burnish down from the front and the back. Now you've got that fun little W pop-up card. Isn't that cool? Let's get our decorations going on here. So let's start with the front. I've got this petal pink piece that we've stamped and a couple of die cut pieces. Because we're going to be doing some stamping and cutting, I did a lot of the die cutting ahead of time. So let's take a look at the pieces that I've die cut. I'm going to show you all of them at one time. Okay, for the outside of our card, I have 2 of these little pennant banners and 1 of these big primitive hearts. I cut these. Let me show you my die chart so you can see what sizes and what die sets they come from. I cut the little banners using this Tasteful Labels dies. It's this fishtail banner. The heart is the largest primitive heart, no stitches, from the Stitched Be Mine dies. Got a set of those for the outside, and then I've also cut a set for the inside of the card. So we're going to carry some of the elements into the inside. This is Calypso Coral, this is Bermuda Bay. So that's some of the die cutting you can do ahead of time. Then for the inside of the card, we've got 3 Whisper White or Basic White stitched scalloped rectangles. And these are the 3rd from smallest, stitched So Sweetly. And For the inside, we also have some circles for our sentiment. I did those with the layering circles dies. Got 1 7/8 inch circle from Layering Circles, and this 1 15/16 scallop cut from Bermuda Bay. So there's our die cutting. Before I adhere my heart, I want to add a little texture to it. I thought that this very subtle texture using the subtle 3D folder was a nice touch. So let me grab the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and we'll put some texture on these hearts. My subtle folder is one of the older 3D folders from Stampin' Up. It's still available, but mine is one of the older Sizzix ones. So if your folder says Sizzix, old ones from Stampin' Up, then you can still run that in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. What you'll do is pop those hearts into the folder, pop the folder onto the platform, and then you take number 3 to crank this through. So just one of the number 3 cutting pads. If your 3D folder does not say Sizzix, it's one of the new designs, and those use the platform number 4. And here's our embossed hearts. And the fun little subtle texture. Looks like the camera's picking that up. Isn't that cool? Just a gentle little linen type texture. Let's go ahead and adhere some of the parts to the front. We've got that gorgeous scalloped stitch rectangle with the heart pattern. We're going to put some multi-purpose liquid glue. Then we need 2 of these little flags. I'm going to go ahead and glue them so that they're overlapping each other. Little multi-purpose liquid glue on the back of my terracotta flag. We just want to bring them together. Then we can flip and fit these little flags where we want them. And then you add a little multi-purpose liquid glue to the back. It helps to get perfect placement that way. Then our heart, we can go ahead and glue that one on. You love this color combination. Could definitely be a boy baby or a girl baby card. So cute. All right, inside the card, we're going to do a little bit of adhering also before we stamp our little characters. Let's go ahead and adhere our 2 center Whisper White scallops. We can just glue those on centered in the panels using multi-purpose liquid glue. Then we're going to adhere our second embossed heart. You've got to be very careful here. We're going to adhere that one on, but we want to leave room for our sentiment. Don't want anything to go past the edge or past the fold here. Be very careful of this fold. That's a mechanism of the card. You don't want to pass over that fold. All right, then our first segment here, we're going to do much like we did for the outside. We'll take our Bermuda Bay and our Calypso Coral and we'll glue those together, kind of making one piece out of them, staggered. And then you can add a little glue. Fit them, kind of make that all one piece where you want it, and then we can glue it down. Time to do some stamping now. We can set aside our card and our sample. I'm going to get some ink pads and some scraps. So here we have Bumblebee ink and So Saffron cardstock. This is just a scrap. You'll need a scrap for each of your little giraffes and for some stars. So for time's sake, I'm just going to stamp and trim one. We've got Pool Party and Bermuda Bay for our elephants. Again, I've already stamped and cut one of my elephants ahead of time, so I'll just do one for demonstration purposes. And then here we have Calypso Coral. Got a scrap of Calypso Coral and a scrap of Petal Pink. That's for our little lion. Let's get stamping our little characters. They're so cute. I'm going to start with my elephant. You'll stamp 2 elephants for this card. One for the inside, one for the outside. And by the magic of television, I already have my little second one cut out here. Then I've got my little giraffe. We're going to stamp the giraffe in Bumblebee ink on So Saffron cardstock. And by the magic of television, I've already got one here. There's also these cute little stars. Now, I don't mind stamping and cutting them. If you have the Twinkle Builder punch from a couple of years ago, you can punch your stars out, or grab your stitched stars dies and cut a couple. If you don't want to stamp and fussy cut, you're going to need 9 stars. So you'll stamp 3 times and cut out the stars, or go ahead and die cut or punch them if fussy cutting's not your thing. By the magic of television, I've got my stars all stamped and cut. Then we're going to work in our Calypso Coral ink pad. We're going to need to do a little lion. We're going to do this lion, one complete lion. Calypso Coral on Petal Pink. And then we need the lion's face. So we need a little extra Petal Pink just to get his face. Then we need one more time the mane. And it's one of the cute little details of this that just makes the card. We're going to fussy cut and layer those images to make our adorable little lion. And give these a second to dry while we stamp our greetings. I've got my Whisper White Circle that I showed you earlier. We're going to stamp for the little one who tugs on our heartstrings in Bermuda Bay. And then for the outside, we've got a 1/2 inch by 3.5 inch scrap. And we're going to stamp Love Just Got Real. I think that's so cute for a baby. We're going to stamp it to the right so that we have room to tie some twine and put one of those little stars. Cute. Let me clear the ink pads. I'm going to grab some scissors and we'll cut our images. I'm going to go ahead and cut each of these images. I'm going to cut right on the line. The line is kind of wide and chunky, so if you just cut right on the edge of it, you'll do fine. We're going to cut out each of the little guys. Now, if you don't care to cut, that's fine. You can always use a little bit bigger panels in your card and stamp right on the panels and color in, or stamp right on the panels with the colored inks. So you can absolutely play to your strengths. Do what you love. If you want to get better at fussy cutting, that's pretty easy to do. You'll maneuver the paper into the scissors. You don't hack around the image with the scissor. There's no prize for getting it all out in one piece, so cut off the excess as you go. Support your scissor. You can see that my ring finger is in the bottom loop of the scissor, and my middle finger and index finger are supporting the scissors. My dominant hand is my right hand, and it just really does open and close the scissor, while my non-dominant hand turns the paper. So just some fun fussy cutting tips. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the rest of my pieces, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my little fussy cutting done. See how we did the lion in 3 pieces? We've got a full lion, a mane, and a face. 2 giraffes, 9 stars, and 2 elephants. All done. Let's adhere the pieces of our lion. I don't want to lose any. We're going to just add a little multi-purpose liquid glue here and glue our layers together. If you use a little lion on the outside of the card, you could put his face on with little dimensionals. It would be so cute. But since this guy's for the inside, we're just going to glue flat with multi-purpose liquid glue. I love these little pull toys. I knew from the second I saw them that they would be so cute, just stamped and cut like that. While we're gluing, let's go ahead and glue our greeting, inside greeting, to the scallop mat. Our outside greeting needs a little embellishment. I'm going to cut the real end with the tailor tag punch and make a little flag, little banner end. Love that punch. I don't know what I'll do if it ever retires. I've gotten so spoiled, I don't know if I could do that with scissors anymore. Then, little linen thread. I'm going to wrap around the greeting and tie a nice loopy bow. I love this neutral kind of rustic twine, maybe like the string that the pull toys would be on with a big bead at the end. It just seemed to fit the theme of the card so well. And let's trim the tails. One of those stars that we cut, they're 3 sizes. They're small, medium, and large. We're going to take one of the larger ones and a mini glue dot. Got a little half of a mini. We'll put the mini glue dot next to the bow. Remove the adhesive. Position the little star right on top. Oh, it's so cute. I just love it. Now inside we'll use all liquid glue. So let's take our outside pieces away and we'll bring our inside pieces. And what I want to do is just glue them so that they look like they're kind of in a line, watching that they're all the same height from the bottom. And we'll add our greeting inside. A little angle there to match the heart. Do watch when you adhere your little pull toys that the string end, the pull end doesn't go past the folds. It'd be too much stress on those little pieces. Keep it within the score lines. I'll glue all 3 pieces. We're going to embellish with some stars, and I have a little too much adhesive, so I'm going to wipe that away with one of the little stars. Add that above my elephant. Now I can keep going. Just a little tip to keep things tidy when you're using liquid glue. Oh, look at my little train of pull toys. So cute. All right, got a few more stars for the inside here. Gonna do a little one next to the larger one on the little elephant panel. And then we'll make a triangle with the stars. I'm gonna bring one down over here, kind of a medium-sized one. Then we'll put a few over on the greeting panel. Put a teeny tiny one at the bottom of the greeting, and then 2 up here. Kind of make it a triangle. And that's sweet. So there's the inside of our card. On the outside. Outside is where we can get real fun. We're going to put dimensionals on the back of our pull toys. Multi-purpose liquid glue on the back of our greeting. I want the little banner end to just coordinate with the die cuts that are there. Then we can use lots of mini dimensionals, and the edges are great for this kind of thing. We can snip off skinny little pieces that we can then make into tiny little squares for the end of these little pull toy. All right, dimensionals are sticky. Let's pop our little giraffe above the word love, and our little elephant following along. Ooh, fun. Bring our sample back in here because we're going to do a little bit of simple embellishment. We've got, I'll leave it that way for a little bit. Got 2 stars left, so we're going to put them kind of triangle placement off the end of the banner. And then I love these opal rounds. They're just so glammy. All right, let's make sure our W mechanism works. I'm gonna take your pick tool. And let's decorate. I'm gonna do a large one and a small one. Off the bottom of the banner. And a large one and 2 small ones out in front of the giraffe. There they are. What do you think? So much fun. What a great gift this card is. Love just got real. That's just so cute. That fun W fold. Let's stand that one up like that. There we go. There. Let's do it that way. All right. If you've got any questions about the fun fold, about the kitchen table stamper craft social, mystery card, joining the kitchenettes while you can get the awesome designer series papers for free with your starter kit, reach out anytime. Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. Email me. And to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching.